And we're up. I think. Looks like the mic's hot. It's Friday! And it's way later than I intended on doing this. Usually I shoot for right around noon, but stuff happens, and here it is 4 o'clock, and I'm just now getting around to this. So, sorry it came out late, but here I am. That's all I got. All right, so just a quick one today because we are running late, and I know like folks have stuff to do on Friday. I did the Kavalos Deathriders a while back. We're gonna go over to. Let's stick it to the painting cam. We did the Deathrider, and I spent a lot of time doing the nice Ivory armor here, and yeah, we spent a lot of time to make that look like I hadn't finished painting it. I don't really like it. So we're going to try an alternate one. We're going to pop, if you remember it, it's just poster tag holding him on. So we're going to drop that off. We're going to try a little something different. Sort of going back to the War Machine days. I say that like I played years ago. I didn't really play years ago, but we're going to try something a little different. So we're gonna I'm like I painted white armor before and I couldn't remember what it was on. And then I remembered, hey, let's try this. So we're gonna take a little Thornwood green, Thornwood green. It almost looks brown, but it does have a green tint to it. We're gonna take a little of that. Still alive, yes. Sandy asked if I was still alive. Still alive, so far. So, like I said, I didn't really like the way the armor turned out. So what I'm going to do is we're just going to run a real quick test over this armor down here. And then we can get a good contrast on whether or not we like it. And then if we like it, we might go up into the other part or maybe onto the shield and see how it turns out looking up there. So this whole thing is going to start off with Thornwood green, and it seems a little off, but trust me, it works. So we're on the Thornwood green. Anywhere we're going to run this. Run a little bit back here, go back and forth. way up under the bottom of that. Make sure we get all that armor. Down there. Back around. Just trying to stay off the places that I've already painted. Because most of this we're going to come back over the top of it anyway, so it's not a problem. So along there. Back around. Just back down around here. So I started looking. So after I post these on Facebook, I'm usually recording these. I just had to double check to make sure that I was recording this one. I typically record these. And when I'm done, I go back and I put these on YouTube. And then I sort of watch to see what folks are actually watching, because while you can see how many views you got on Facebook Live and all that stuff, you can't really tell, like who's watching what and all that. It's much harder to do on Facebook Live than YouTube. YouTube gives you analytics, all kinds of neat little tools to see who's watching what, how long they're watching. Well, you can't really tell who's watching what, but you can tell people are watching this and that and the other. So, as of yesterday, the video that I did for Spider-Man, I was doing Crisis Protocol and I painted up Spider-Man. That actually passed my Mortec Guard video on the number of views and all the other fun stuff, like, hours watched and all that. It sort of surprised me. But, the game just launched on Saturday. So, not too surprising, I guess. But I went and the streams and everything that I did were the store copy that I did for Gigabytes. And I knocked them out in a week, and I went through them pretty quick. I mean, they're good quality, but they're definitely not like my best work ever. Most of the stuff that I do on the stream is not my best work ever. Oh well. I got my box. I got my copy of Crisis Protocol. And I sort of want to paint Spider-Man again. But I was thinking this time, instead of doing him in his standard red and blue, I would do him almost in the symbiote. I would do him like in the symbiote paint scheme, where he's all in the black and the silver lining on the spider suit. And since y'all are the only ones watching right now, you sort of get to decide. Do we want to do that? Or do we want to do something like, I don't know, do we want to do Captain Marvel, but instead of doing her in her red and blue? Do we do her in the Kree colors, which I am all about doing? Alright, turn that over. Oh, okay, so I don't know what the delay is today, but before it's been rather rough. Or at least the last couple of days it's been pretty rough. We're trying to decide what I'm going to paint for. I'm going to do up like a Marvel Crisis Protocol tomorrow. And trying to decide whether or not to do Spider-Man in an alt color. Like the black with the... It's depending on who was drawing it at the time. It's either white or it's silver. I can do that one. Or we could do Captain Marvel. Man, I'm just knocking the paint off this thing left and right, aren't I? Anyway. So, yeah, that's what I was talking about, is just doing the alternate color scheme. Silver and black or white and black? Which one do y'all think? Either one's going to be a little rough because doing the black around it's going to leak into... It's so on Spider-Man the webbing and everything is like recess. Solver. We're going to do it in Solver. That's it. We're doing it in Solver. Is that sort of like Blue's Clues? I have to sing while I do it. Alright. So, I've got... Always be sparkly when you can. Silver. Okay. So, just a rough base coat, because really I'm going to just leave this in the edges. I'm going to grab a little Minoth white base, which is a very... Let's see. Here's white next to it. And one of the things that I noticed is, like, if you watch anybody else do the little painting tutorials and all that stuff, if you're trying to paint white, it's the reverse of black. You don't actually paint too much into white. Just very top highlight. So I sort of did the opposite when I did this armor up here at the top. There's a lot of white, and I guess because of that it looks like I didn't finish it. So we're gonna go back and we're gonna go some off-white to try to bring that back in. And that green is going to give us a darker edge, I guess. Almost like an edge highlighting. We're going to leave that up there in the recesses and stuff like that. And we're going to work our way down. And we're going to switch brushes because that one, the tip is falling apart on me. And we're going to need some control. So, we're just going to go down here, down around the edge, and back. Like so. Guessing that's Corbin's iPod going off in the background. It's Sandy's birthday? Is it Sandy's birthday? I mean, it's on the internet. It must be so, right? If Facebook says it's your birthday, congratulations, it's your birthday. So like I said, I'm using this thinned out pretty far. So it's not coming way back over the top of it. But we're still getting that edge. And then we went too far the other way. Dang it. So I got the paint too watery, and it's run right into that edge where the jewel is, where that attaches. So I'm just going to go with it instead of fighting it. We'll just have to paint back over that bit. Not a problem. And then I'm just going to take this. I want to leave that little edge, but I want the paint to get in there. Down here along the bottom. Trying to make sure I'm still on camera. Go down here, back underneath that, down around the bottom of that edge. Now we're going to have to come back with this couple of coats, I think, because when you try to cover up a darker color with a lighter color, the darker color always shows through. Imagine that. But that's fine. We'll be patient. Remember, kids, don't hold your breath while you're doing this. I guess I shouldn't say that because then, YouTube's going to think that I'm doing kid content and all that stuff. Knock me off. Just being careful around the gray part that's already painted. Going back. Leaving a little bit of that at the top. Just trying to get that color to become a little more solid. So you're probably sitting there going, that doesn't look like white. Well, no, it doesn't. Not yet. Like I said, with white, it's a reverse. You only want maybe 10% of the actual figure that you want white to actually be true white. Where up here, I had a bunch of white. It just doesn't work if you do it the opposite way. So there's a little bit more. Just trying to get this all in there. Like I said, we're just trying, where I put that green earlier, I'm trying to get that to hide a little bit more. Because what the hope is that I can make this look off-white, almost into an ivory color. Ivory's got that weird yellow to it. It's a bright white, but it has that yellowish tan look to it. So we're going to try to do that. Now I'm on the other side of the model where you can't see. Just down along there. Not a problem. So I'm leaving on the bottom here, that the green, I'm leaving that in there so it'll separate out those plates. I don't want them completely hidden, but I also want some definition between those plates. Where with the other paint scheme that I did, part of the thing that I had to go back was to put that definition in. So we're sort of starting with that and working our way up. I'm just going to duck completely out of the camera. That'll be great. This is quality programming, folks. All right. So, started off with the Thornwood green. We went to a little Minoff white base. Now we're going to go a step brighter, but still on an off-white. This is the Minoff white base that we just put down. And this is the Minoff white highlight. Now, compared to the other one, it looks white until you put white next to it. And then it's an off-white. It's an eggshell, I guess, is what you would call it. So we're going to take a little bit of that. Like I said, we're saving that white for the very edge. I said today was only going to take like a half hour to do. And here I am, a liar, because it's 25 minutes in and we ain't done. All right. We want to thin it out, but we don't want to we don't want to thin it out too much. So start back over here where we were at. And you'll find that because that color underneath it is a little bit brighter, it's going to be easier for this one to pick up. Where I had to put a bunch of coats of the white on the other one to get that greenish brown to cover up. This one we're not going to have to take as many because it's already a lighter color underneath. It's just not going to take as much. I've got it pretty thin, so what I'm doing is just sort of pushing it around a little bit, and I'm bringing the strokes down because I want the heavier part of that white to be toward the bottom. So there's that. Like I said, pretty darn thin. Now I gotta watch it because I don't want to get that bone underneath there. I didn't know whether it was your real birthday, Sandy, or if it was a one of those Facebook I put a date. There's that. There's that. Yes, Robin, I know you told me, but like I said, I didn't know if Facebook was lying. Alright, so I'm going to come back for another coat of this white, but this time I'm not going to go as high. And that way there's a little bit of a blend across there. So where the last time I went up here, I'm just going to go about half that height down that armor panel. And pick up a little more. Like so. Sandy, you're not that old, bud. And there's Jeremy Williams, who I saw driving and scared the stuff out of me. There is nothing like having a large Ford truck 4x4 pull up alongside of a Ford Mustang and start honking the horn. All right. So that's bringing it up. Let's see if I can get that color to show. Where that one back there is sort of going like that. This up here is starting to get a little bit of a gradient across it. Probably should go for a little bit more, but I don't know. We'll see. I may go back and use a little bit of the other color to bring that down. But we're going to try white first. And see. We're just going to go to a straight white and go right along the edge of that and see how it goes. But first, we're going to shake the snot out of this thing. "44 feels pretty old right now," says Sandy. Already there, dude. Thanks, Jeremy. So now what I'm going to do is we're going to take the white. I mean, just straight. This is white. No, yeah, it's white scar. As I hiccup while I talk. That's awesome. Now we don't want to go too nuts with this. We just want to run right along the edge. Because everywhere that we use this white, as I'm off the camera again, I'm going to use a little edge right there. Right there. Where we use this, that white's going to really stand out. We're going to give it a little bit right there along the bottom. Back down around the bottom. Not too much, not too little, just right. We're going for Goldilocks. Maybe just a little bit up here on the top. Just show that different color. Bring that edge right there. And then back around there. So we started to get a little bead on the tip of the brush, and that means that that paint's drying up there. You definitely don't want that, because then the flow of the paint off the brush just does not work. So we're gonna just along that edge, right back there, and then along this edge, just a little bit right there. So well, on the camera, it's not showing the best in the world, but it does look considerably better, at least to the eye, or to my eye, than this back here. It looks more of that ivory white. Maybe it's just a ratio down here that I need to get straightened out. I'm going to take a little bit of our other color, work it down into some of this. Where a little bit more of that yellow shows. Man, it just doesn't want to show up on camera. Oop. So, yeah, and like I said, it looks a little better in person. That's right, stuck my tongue out. All right. Well, I will do my best to do up the rest of this model, because I think like I said, it's not showing up as well on the camera as I'd like, but in person it looks considerably better than this one up here. So I think I'm going to at least pursue doing the rest of it up in here, and the shield, I'll knock all that out, and we'll post up a picture on Instagram and in the comments here and on Facebook, and basically I'll spam the crap out of it, and the picture will be everywhere. So like I said, it's just one of those things that we're gonna I like that better than I do the other armor, so I'll at least give it a shot and see what it looks like. But that's the Friday stream. Like I said, what I had planned for today is not what I ended up doing, but neither here nor there. We may try to do it next Friday. We may do it sometime next week. Drop a comment either here or YouTube or wherever. Probably going to do another stream tomorrow. It's either going to be Spider-Man or Captain Marvel. Both of them be either one would be a alternate paint scheme. I could do Captain Marvel in the Kree colors, the teal and silver, or looking to do Spider-Man in the black and silver or black and white, depending on which one I can actually get done. So if you got an opinion, drop a line on Facebook. That'll work too. Leave something in the comments here. Let me know what you think. Till then, have a good Friday, have a good weekend, and go paint something.